All right, what's up YouTube? This is Fossil Fool, Paul Friedman, coming at you from Berkeley. I had a breakthrough on the boom tent yesterday. I didn't have a breakthrough in the setup time. It was still at least 90 minutes, probably closer to 2 hours. But the breakthrough was that my new work works. So I'm gonna give a closer look at how this thing works, because right now we're in 10 to 12 probably knots of breeze, and you can see what's going on. So first of all, this side over here is the lower side, and it's the fixed side. It's the most fixed side in terms of the tension, because there's a really good parachute cord that is underneath the deck around that corner and then anchors on the starboard corner there. Because of the wind, it's actually floating away from the hoops. The boom is lashed to the hoops. The boom supports the bed right here, and the hoops are going into this triangular bracket that I made. And the triangular bracket has a horizontal member there that connects to the other triangular bracket with a couple of locking pins. Okay, there's the other triangular bracket. I also just wanted to show some of the engineering process on what is now going to be version 3 of the boom tent. So right behind me is a chunk of foam with the manufacturer's printing still on it. I was just realizing that if I wanted to be up at a dock, then I have to step onto the dock under this. So I'm gonna flip the position of it, just to give you a sense of what it's like doing inventing on this weird project. Now I'm going to flip the orientation of this support. Okay. I just hit my head on this hoop. So what could I do to improve that? Because I would like to be able to actually take 1, 2, and then usually I will swing onto the bed at that point. Engineering on a micro glamper, bicycle towed micro glamper. The first mod is a bike towed micro glamper. It holds a full-size cot relative to what is shown in the Lilystone plans, where it's just a board that you sleep on. But then what are you going to do? Use an air mattress, and then you get like that much max. And here I'm getting like that much for, you know, for sinking down into. And the yellow is packing tape, so this is a very thin one. And I'm just going to jump right back into it. Putting sleeving over this thin packing taped rectangle of foam. First layer or two, you just really want to be nice and wet. And then the last layer, you can maybe use a little bit less resin and hope that it will kind of carry from the inside out. But you can see how quickly I'm working. It is 8:30 and I really want to get home for dinner. I am not going to vacuum bag, because vacuum bagging would add probably a lot of extra time to this process. Now moving on to the last little structural strip here, which is also sleeving. I like using sleeving now because of the clean edge that it leaves. The sleeving leaves such a nice clean edge that doesn't require much sanding, and look how easy it is to stuff it inside each other, and then you press it down and add a little bit more. I want to take a strip, run it here, take one of these, probably the longer one, stick it right there. I'm going to take the shorter one, stick it right there, and I'm going to take one of these wider pieces, stick it right there, set this down like that. Maybe I'll just lean this heavy battery on it.
Second one, running it along here, taking the shorter one and just sticking it on, taking the longer one, sticking it on, taking this nice long one and sticking it on.
And now, how am I going to hold this all together? How about some electrical tape? Electrical tape is risky. Electrical tape is risky because it exerts quite a lot of force. You need a way to yank it without yanking the fibers. You have a lot of time, so it's no reason to be stressed. Just a very light pressure in. Pretty happy with it. I mean, I can pretty much go home, but I do have this much resin. So let me add a little bit of some strength here and here because they're not even touching. Let's do stacks of 2. Yeah, I think stacks of 2 is good. Because if it's not correct, then I don't want to have wasted a ton of material, and I can always make it a little bit stronger. Pick up these nice wet stacks and use them to make my part stronger. More. So I'm just going to do the other one. Yep. It's connected. That's what it needed. Boom. Nice. Great. So this is what I got after doing a little bit of cleaning. Isn't that nice? After the cut, which I haven't done yet, I will have a place to clamp this, and as you can see, it's an adjustable height system. So if the wind is really light and I want to have the maximum amount of luxury, I can raise it. So that means I'm going to cut this a little bit long. Even that is not high enough. So I'm going to raise it even higher until my yardstick clears, comfortably clears, by, let's just say, 1 inch. So this flap is a very important flap because this is my door. I'll show you from the outside here. It is my door. You can see my messy bed. Sorry I didn't clean up for the video. This member right here is the main strength of the bed because that's where my butt is. And so what I do is I anchor off of this and then pull the bed using tension knots. There's the attachment mechanism of the tent itself. So as you can see, I've sewn hella Velcro down, and then the door mounts to the Velcro. And I was doing this last night in a breeze, and it was okay. I was thinking that I was gonna have 2 modes of use, a storm mode and a lounging mode, with this being the lounging mode because lounging mode means full height. But it's not too bad. It is not too bad. This is 10 knots probably. So if it were double this, if it were 20 knots, I probably wouldn't want the full height mode, but I don't know. maybe it's fine. So yeah, these are some of the considerations. Now you can see like my unique tension system. This green line right here actually goes down, and then I'm using the downhaul so I can make the tent even more tight from inside. Once I'm already in, I lift with one string the entire boom, and then this green line is the stop, and the stop is key because it forces the boom backwards. And in the rear, in the aft corner here, it splits and goes to the two corners. So, you know, this tent is bulging, but it's not looking dangerous. And then the bulge makes it actually even more spacious inside. So there's a couple of lines that are keeping it from bulging, from being pushed too far in. And I've gotten it down to 2 main hoops. There were 4 in the last prototype. There they are. Those are the 2 hoops that I needed. That means that there's less of these hoop hardware that need to be installed. See, this is the newest of the hoop hardware, and it's a pleasure to use because it's got a good mechanical advantage. A flying shot through the boom tent. I have a hot coffee waiting. Last time I sat here and talked to you was from Coyote Point, but today it is July 5th. Last night I decided to camp out here, and it was a push. There were a lot of points of second guessing of myself during the push. So the mood that I have right now, this proud mood, was very different yesterday, and I wasn't running the camera. On the way to the water I flatted, and fortunately I had made a plan to sail with Nick, and he was close by in his Sprinter van, so he supported me while I actually zoomed home for the correct tube, which I didn't have. And then he also helped me lift the boat to remove the wheel to be able to fix the flat. And he also helped me drill a hole because the reason for the flat was that my custom wheels, the valve was coming out poorly at a poor angle. And then when I got to the water, the tension system on this elevator boom, I hadn't nailed it yet, and I did have to do like probably about 5 tries. But then I did get it yesterday, so that was the breakthrough. So I've got a 2-to-1 mechanical advantage when I lift my boom now, and that means I can set it to the right height, and my mast is able to do it, which is great. I recently had an interesting correspondence with the members of the Goat Island Skiff Facebook group. We were comparing carbon fiber masts. Mine was by far the heaviest of all the carbon fiber masts, coming in at 13.5 or 14 pounds. But then I also performed the standardized deflection test, where you hang a bucket of a certain weight in the middle, and it turned out that my mast is the strongest. So that's a good feeling when I go sailing, and then also when I'm doing my boom tent, I can really anchor off of it. I'm putting a lot of tension on it with this new system that lifts the boom at night, which has everything to do with being able to stand up inside. So since the last video, I made it even taller. You can see, because it's windy right now, I'm standing behind this hoop and my head is comfortable. Now I'm walking forward, and now I'm standing right underneath the hoop, and you can see how much space I left there. This is the forward hoop, and you can see how tall it is, plus it's bulging because of the wind, so I have this feeling of spaciousness in here. It's great. It's really great. So I don't know what to do with it. You tell me. Drop a comment. What do you think? Should I publish the plans? Should I make these?
Should I not entrepreneur with it and just take myself on an adventure? I have an instinct for what I want to do. I want to go sailing with my friend Jeffrey Blumenthal today. He's going to come in about an hour. Maybe we'll try to set up another time lapse of tearing down the tent over the next hour. We're going to try to go someplace. I might want to try to head to Sausalito today. Could be a good day for that. Or it might be too scary, and then we stay a little bit more local and try to get some lessons from some of the older senior members of the Cal Sailing Club. So those are some of the ideas. My mood is just so much better this morning. I slept so well here. I heard the booms in the distance, but I was cool with it because I was being lulled to sleep by the waves. It's nicer at anchor actually than it is by a dock because you don't get yanked by your lines as much, but I got used to it and I slept so perfectly in this bed. And while I'm here, I'll just show you one more look at the bed because there's some cool new innovation happening. And the cool new innovation is it's an asymmetrical bed now. Yeah, see there's a missing corner. And that's how I achieved it. I'll actually undo the clips and show you the custom work. I love custom work and I'm scared of sailing. That's the way I feel sometimes. I feel pathological. So this one's kind of a cool mechanism. This one's got the cam action. See that? And it snaps. Boom! Supports the bed right there. Anchors a hoop right there. This is borrowed from another project that failed. And it's got a locking pin right here. So I can tear it down. And it folds like this. Pop for me. Pop! So right now I'm tearing down. I'm going to turn off the camera. Thanks for following along. You all have been great. Push me to 1,000, please. I got 800 plus subscribers and it's all in the past year. All the growth is in the past year since I've been doing these bike sailing videos. So help me push to 1,000, please. Share it, share it, share it. Make it one of your favorite sailing channels and one of your favorite inventing channels. Peace. Picking up in the sailing with Jeff, getting through the Berkeley Pier, this decrepit pier that has never been removed since 30 years. It's not been used and it's a major hazard. Jeff threading the needle there, hitting that roughly 50 foot or 100 foot wide gap. Now we've switched skippers and the whitecaps are a little bit more fierce. We're in the slot. You can see the Golden Gate Bridge all the way on the left there, and the waves are in the 1 to 2 foot range. And sails not perfectly full. I'm trying to sail it with a full sail, but I'm starting to feel like I have to hike out to control the boat. We're talking about potentially putting in a reef. But when I review the footage, it always makes me feel like, oh, it wasn't that bad. I should have sailed harder. Anyway, because of the time of day, I think this was only like 2 o'clock, and the small craft advisory was supposed to begin at 3. So I was feeling like, if this is happening at 2, then we should just reef now, because then by 3 o'clock we'll be, really thankful that we already did. So I'm talking Jeff through what we're going to do. First step is to raise the centerboard so that we don't dig in quite as hard when we're in the waves trying to do the reef. So he raises the centerboard. So I allow the boat to enter a drift on its own, which is similar to, I believe, heaving 2. I think this is sort of like a form of heaving 2 right now. And then Jeff tries to grab the tiller. Although he doesn't really know what to do with the tiller because I haven't really prepared him or trained him for this. Anyway, there's the reefing clock. We're going for it. And this is a highly ineffective reefing operation. These are minutes going by, 4 minutes, 5, 6, and I'm still fiddling with knots, 8, 9. There's a guy on YouTube that I'm friends with, Teo, the video rambler. He can do this in 90 seconds, and it's taking me now 9 minutes, and we're still not done. But we're out in a pretty, intense situation here. Now we've raised the sail, and the downhaul isn't hooked on, so we gotta lower the sail, hook the downhaul, do it again now, 10 minutes, and check out this wave. Boom, that's why you raise your centerboard. Because when the centerboard's raised, then the boat can slide more, and we didn't take any water aboard. So now we've reefed the sail, one setting. We reduced it one setting, and it took 12 minutes, and there's a nice long reefing line that's annoying me because I knew I was shooting video and I didn't want this white cord on the whole side of the video. And I have to redo my reefing system. It's taking too long, and there's all these cords that end up loosening, and they can get fouled on things. So we got to put some time and thought into it, research what other people are doing, including Teo, the video rambler with his Goat Island skiff. But now that we've got this smaller reef, I'm feeling good about it. It's spicy, and I'm just feeling like it's really unlikely that we're going to get overpowered, and with this 50% reef. So the day's going well. We're heading towards the Richmond Bridge right now. So after tidying up that reefing line, which involved the tack, it's now trying to turn back towards Richmond. You can see that I'm spending so much energy, mental energy, trying to get my lines to clear my hand that we failed the tack. So here's attempt number 2, using my hand to guide the sheet, which still gets caught on my PFD. So I have some work to do on how to rig my boat. I came up with these black elevator blocks that lift the bridle so it can clear the tiller. I don't have any sailing footage yet, but I'm happy to report that they do work. This is one of the real pleasures of sailing in San Francisco Bay, when you pass amazing old wooden boats like this gaff-rigged schooner with 30 people aboard enjoying the day. Fantastic. Here's the downwind leg. You do a bunch of work to get upwind, and then you can sit in the boat and everything's dry because you're going downwind. And it's fun because you're surfing waves. It's like you don't have to go to the Grand Canyon. You can just do it right in your backyard, and that's the essence of low carbon fun. That's an idea that really resonates for Jeff and I. We met through the bike community in San Francisco. We were both involved with the Bicycle Music Festival, which is a people-powered music fest, and our friendship grew from that. So here we are getting back through the same pier, and it's interesting doing this downwind because I've already raised the centerboard quite a bit. So the boat is sliding, which makes things safer in the waves. It's the way I like doing it downwind, but because we're trying to hit a specific gap, I have to point higher than I actually want to go. It's kind of interesting dynamics there. Now at the last minute, I'm telling Jeff, let's show some more centerboard because I really don't want to slip too far once we're actually in the gap. It goes pretty smoothly this time. Really nice. You have about half a mile to negotiate this. And then you're free of it, so it's time to raise up the centerboard. Let's raise it all the way this time. Boom. And let's enjoy some slipping and sliding as we make our way through the waves back into Berkeley. This is now right in the small craft advisory posted hours with about 3-foot waves, probably blowing around 20 knots. getting some good surfs, and we're not going straight down the wave, which makes it better because the surfs are a little longer and more controlled. We're both sitting inside the boat, and life is good, not too scary. Really enjoying it. We're doing a lot of planing here, I believe. You can see the white water coming from the middle of the boat as an indication of planing. There's only one last turn that we need to make to get safely to the dock where Jeff's bike is parked, and I am struggling with it because at this point I'm fiddling with the lines and I don't have my jibing technique down. Switched and we're navigating the waves pretty well, but check this one out. Look how much it wants to broach us, and that's why we sail with the centerboard up now. The boat is a scaled up First Mate, a sailing rowing dinghy designed by Ross Lillystone, a sailor out of Australia who loves this kind of camp cruising, and I have really appreciated this boat for keeping me safe. I've made many mistakes while out in San Francisco Bay. This gybe is like several others that I've recently had, and the boat takes care of me. The idea of bicycle freedom, being free to experience life without needing to participate in car culture, is really huge for us. But that is a substantial amount down there. You know, Jeff and his wife have a car. I do some driving when I need to. I've never owned a car, but we love this stuff because it makes us feel a certain way. It makes us feel like another world is possible. And when we ride side by side, we're each responsible for our own transportation. We're each our own motor. And in my case, I also have an electric assist motor that can handle 2,000 watts. So it's pretty different these days. Things have changed. I'm no longer doing all the pedaling myself. Jeff's gonna head north. I'm gonna head up to the pedestrian bridge, and we're gonna say a quick goodbye. After a really sweet day sail and a night camping. All right, till next time.